This is reaction video number 6. It was a TED Talk given by Margaret Vestager. It is titled The New Age of Corporate Monopolies. In the video, it discussed competition within the European markets, why the markets need clear rules, and how even the most innovative companies can become a problem when they're too dominant. So, here are a few of the takeaways I got from the video. Vestager started off her talk by placing the audience in 1957 Rome. She said a world war had just emerged from Europe, and stated that human suffering was unbelievable and unprecedented at this time. And said that there were representatives from 6 different countries, I believe. And these men in Europe they came together and they wanted to create a more peaceful and democratic Europe, saying that they wanted to create a Europe that worked for its people, saying that their building block or their foundation was a common market, a common European market. So that's what they were working to build this more peaceful Europe with. So from the first day in 1957, the European Union had rules to defend fair competition. And basically the fair competition, she described it as the quality of your merits. And then she started going in more about what fair competition was, and she said her job as the commissioner of competition was to ensure companies follow these rules. Again, fair play, fair competition. She then posed the question, why do we need these rules? She followed up, to let businesses compete. She said it lowers the prices, creates more innovation. Her list went on, but she then said this that kind of was like, whoa. It was said sometimes competition can be inconvenient, meaning the race is never over and the game is never won, meaning you're always competing against somebody else. There's always somebody out there wanting to take your place. And then she said, the temptation to avoid competition is powerful. She said it dated back, the roots and your motives for competition are as old as Adam and Eve. And then she started talking about greed and power, and she said, when greed and fear are linked to power, you have a dangerous mix. And she said, those who get it are reluctant to give it back. And I could not agree more. Moving on into her video, she said, governments can undermine competition too, by handing out subsidies to just the favorite few. I believe the few she listed, I know one was Apple, but she named some of the bigger companies. So they're favored. Excuse me. She also said, there are times when we need to step in to ensure the market is working fairly, because competition gives consumers the power to demand a fair deal, and that's what she's doing. That's what she's standing for. The market is not the society, but the lack of trust in the market rubs off, and therefore we as a whole are losing trust in our society. And she followed up by saying trust may be the most important thing we have, and I agree with her. And she said we have to trust everyone around us to do the right thing. That includes in the market, includes in your job, in society nonetheless. She said the more our society grows, the more important trust becomes and the harder it is to build. And then her video started shifting towards a technological, I don't want to say viewpoint, but she started talking about technology, and she brought up some good points, and she said that technology can basically help us trust each other just as much as not trusting each other. So it's a powerful tool, and it can be deceiving too. And she said, she really hit the nail on the head. Nobody does anything without trust. Trust cannot be imposed. It has to be earned. And then she started to go full circle, how she started the video off talking about 1957 Rome, I believe that's what it was. Yes. She said dating back into 1957, our competition rules have helped to build that trust. So that was our foundation. Like I said before, and like she said before in her video, that's the building block. So they're still working to build off of that foundation that they laid years ago. And then lastly, competition makes the market work for everyone. And that was basically one of her closing remarks before she moved into her Q&A session. And I thought the Q&A session was rather interesting. And I did have a few takeaways from her Q&A session. She said, data works as a currency in the market. She also said Europe is open for business, but not tax evasion. And this got a really positive response from the audience. So what she and her company are doing for the European market, that's basically what she broke down into that little statement. And then the example she used, she asked her daughter, she said, why do you use Google? And her daughter responded, because it works. And she said, her daughter did not say because it's a good product, not because it's a US product, because it works. So that's what they're trying to get at. Basically, that's what her video kind of talked about, was calling things how they are, trusting markets, I lost my train of thought, and just making sure the competition plays fair, and holding them to the highest standard. Overall, I kind of like the video. Kind of slow at the beginning, but she had a strong finish. But yeah, so